So not sure how much I'll get in this video. Might do it in parts again, we'll see. So planters got some peas in it, and one of them is very yellow and diamond-ish. But otherwise looking pretty good. This guy, it's still got a bunch of garlic in it, but looks like it's about done. It also has now a black cherry tomato. It's called black cherry, so I'm excited about that. And yeah, it's gone. I put in a cucamelon, and looks like I got eaten. Apparently our critters really like the taste of anything that's a little cucurbit. This is another, I think this is snow pea. I think for the most part snow peas are what I planted last. Potatoes are starting to get eaten, one that's a little sickly. And so I'm starting to think that those guys might have gotten stunted in the frost because I planted them really early. This is my sort of assorted mixed bed of greens, still kicking. Same here, the spinach is pretty much done. Got some oregano that I can take up front. Amaranth is starting to come up and proliferate, which is super pretty and edible, of course. And my lemon tree is starting to put out lots of baby leaves, which is cool. This right here, lettuce is probably almost done. All of my parsleys seem to be bolting, which I guess is reasonable since they're from last year. And somehow, my onions appear to be starting to bulb, which is very exciting. I have never managed to successfully grow a bulbing onion. So that's, not a bunching onion. More lettuce. One of my first sweet potato plants that seems to be taking and thriving. This is a bay laurel I just got. It was like $5 for this baby, so I couldn't resist. Pea plants seem to be doing okay-ish. There's another potato plant, and I was going to add soil in there, sort of like a mounding technique, but I don't know if I'm gonna get to do that. And then here is my hyssop. And I'll tell you a short story to remember for posterity. So these wonderful, super red strawberries that are ripe, perfect looking. Just sit and look at that big, giant freaking strawberry. So these were originally from that planter, and they escaped and sort of taken over this bed. And I have basically a rule that we don't need anything that was planted within 10 feet of the house. Although I have used some of these fennel seeds historically. That's pretty much it. The reason is all the lead paint that has been flaking off this porch and probably the siding for who knows how many years. So we have all of these, which were derived from that original container plant, that have taken up the entirety of the bed here. And I've gone to extreme measures because once these first started putting on fruit and getting ripe, I realized that not only were birds a problem and slugs, also raccoons. So this year, we're going with a multi-layered approach. These are jewelry, like mesh bell high, little daddy long legs there, they're very active, large population daddy long legs, which is good. You guys keep on checking. So jewelry mesh bags, cover them up, which was for the birds, and then I figured out the raccoons were coming and either tearing open the bags or just eating them through the mesh. And then I learned that raccoons don't like cayenne pepper. So that's what we're doing, cayenne pepper and mesh. And you can see, and I also, if I let them get too ripe, the slugs get in and get them anyway through all of that, so, So I don't get to get them super, super red and huge, but I get them, which is the point. So these little guys, raspberries are taking off, starting to set fruit, which is awesome, and proliferating. So I think probably by next year, this is gonna be raspberries and strawberries. I won't even bother with this other stuff. But I did, this year, try So cabbages, very slow growing. There's some opal basil. And I realize this is in the shade and I knew it would take a while, but I don't think it's gonna happen. Oh, there you go. Case in point. There's a zillion of those guys. They cannot be deterred, clearly. So yeah, some brassicas, cabbages. There's some carrots buried in there, but the slugs ate most of the top, so I think it came up pretty nicely. It had a pretty good looking crop, and then they all sort of disappeared gradually. So, there's a blueberry buried in there, and I may at some point have to figure out a better place for my blueberries, because the differences in soil needs are probably inhibiting them pretty bad. These are both pink lemonade. There's a couple of berries on this one, so I might get to at least taste what that's like. And I had transferred a bunch of my brassicas from the vegetable bed down here, and some of them are starting to get bigger-ish. Like there's a cabbage right there. I think that's broccoli. I didn't label them, so now I'm not entirely sure. But these are cabbages over here. And they're starting to look vaguely cabbagey, like it wants to cabbage. But I don't think it'll have time before it gets too hot for them, but maybe in the shade. We'll see. Experiments, right? And this is the one blueberry plant we're probably going to get some fruit from. Let's see. And I thought these guys were getting close to getting ripe, but they just keep being kind of green, and I don't know if it's because I have them covered. They're not like just that little bit of cover keeps them getting ripe, or what? Just keep on turning. More raspberry fruit set. Very exciting. And I did read that cicadas, the one garden plant they can be a danger to, are woody, like brambles, perennials, like raspberries. And where did I see cicadas? On my raspberries. So fingers crossed, but they seem to be going. They seem to be setting fruit. Very green, super happy, which is awesome. Here's some salad greens and things that I put in. Oh, and I forgot I put in some squashes. So I think that's like a buttercup squash. Maybe that's oh, this is a spaghetti squash. That's a spaghetti squash too. Maybe it's all spaghetti. In any event, I sprinkled them throughout the bed, and then they've promptly disappeared again because I guess slugs, critters like them. But those three have managed to survive, so we'll see what happens. I have more babies started. Again, friggin' cicadas. More strawberries. Those are looking pretty good. I have to come back and grab those. Oh, and also the red stones in here for birds. There's some Swiss chard back there that doesn't seem to be doing a whole lot. Got a number of kale plants sprinkled in here that seem to be doing okay. That is, I believe, another broccoli. And this is one that I let flower. So now we'll have broccoli flowers, and maybe we'll have volunteer broccoli next year. I don't know. We'll see. And then this is an elderberry. And it looks quite happy. And it's grown a whole heckin' lot since we put it in, because it was bare root, and you can see where it basically started there. And then it's put out all this green growth, so quite happy. Okay, I'm going to stop right there and do one for the rest.